We're back. So this time, as you might have guessed, if you heard the previous episode.
If you did, otherwise we are the wrestling agenda. Yeah. If this is your first episode,
well, welcome. You picked a weird spot to jump in.
You did,
but that's cool. We're happy to have you. So yesterday was top 5 shows of the year.
Yes, yes, it was.
For our Agenda Awards, our Christmas Extravaganza.
Yeah,
it's in full effect now. Full effect.
Yeah.
So for this one,
what's this one?
Top 5 matches.
Oh shit!
Top 5 matches of the year.
Dave Meltzer, eat your heart out.
We're more knowledgeable anyway.
Holy shit! Yeah, I guess.
It's not like he does it for a living, like he gets paid to do it or something weird.
Do you think he even has fun watching wrestling anymore?
I don't think so.
It's become too much of a business like for him that there can't be enjoyment in it.
He can't find it joyful. I think he finds MMA a lot more enjoying.
I would. Right, I mean, that makes sense
based on listening to him. But and then he's like, "Well, wrestling's doing this,
right?" And that's sad.
I'm in on wrestling crowd, so I might as well.
Right, and that's really sad because he's the number one guy they look to. I think
he has fun sometimes, but
I think he has fun at indie shows.
Yeah, like when he goes to PWG and stuff. I think he has a lot of fun. But
but everyone has fun at those.
Yeah, of course.
Because storylines don't fucking matter at PWG All-Star shows. Yeah, they don't matter. No. It's just go out, have the best match ever. You guys decide who wins in the ring. Like no one cares.
So Dave Meltzer get Kenneth Johnson, and who else have we stabbed pretty hard? Izzy?
I stabbed James Ellsworth pretty fucking hard.
Yeah.
I do apologize for it.
I did Brock Lesnar, so I mean,
ooh,
yeah, I think we're gonna running into a wall.
I think my chances against Kenneth Johnson and
Dave
Meltzer, and the Cinderella. I think my chances are way better than you versus Brock Lesnar in a one-on-one.
I don't know why this has to be a goddamn singles match. That's not fair.
Because, you don't want to face him and Kenneth Johnson.
Whatever. He'd throw in a half-ass fucking performance anyway.
Yeah, he wouldn't get paid enough to fight you anyway.
Yeah, solid point. Okay, so starting this off, do you want to start it off? Or
I'll let you go this time.
Okay, so I'm going to go with my number 5 match of the year.
Yeah.
And that'll be Marty the Moth Martinez versus Killshot.
Yeah.
Lucha Underground, Season 3 opener.
Yeah.
Mostly because I've showed it a lot. That's how I got Cody into Lucha Underground.
It is.
It's also what we showed Tim for the first time for Lucha Underground.
It is.
Look at this crazy shit.
And it couldn't have...
in a weapons of mass destruction match. I tried to say it like Melissa Santos for a second. A weapons of mass destruction match.
You couldn't have showed a better match to me. And you didn't know it was going to happen because it was the first episode of the season.
I watched it with you.
And that was the perfect intro to Lucha Underground because it had a little bit of everything in it.
Yep. And then we're like, it's okay. It's an okay
and
show.
I didn't. And
then the weapons of mass destruction match happened.
Right. Well, it was a shit show before that because it was 2 squash matches.
Yeah.
And I really didn't give a shit until that happened.
Yep.
And
it was good. It was real good.
And you can
brutal.
You can knock Lucha for the crazy characters and the crazy storylines, but every once in a while, they just have a banger of a match.
Yeah, and this was it for me. It was so much fun to watch. It was refreshingly brutal. That makes me sound like a sadist, but at the same time, like when you've watched, we were almost poisoned on WWE at that point. And
well, yeah.
I was kind of debating on what to put in this number 5 spot. And Ishii and Shibata were also kind of in it.
Yeah.
But I could never pick one for them. They're a series of matches that are just fantastic. They're kind of the same thing, but they were all barn burners. But Marty the Moth Martinez and Killshot just felt different. It was a straight-up gimmick match, Vietnam War style, ridiculous match. But then it just got turned into a crazy wrestling match.
Lucha Underground. You take the storyline away and you just look at the matches. It's the closest thing to what we had when we had the original ECW as the third show to watch.
Yep.
Because it was a change of pace from the slow plotting.
Refreshing change of pace.
It was refreshing. There was times where ECW was hardcore just for the sake of being hardcore.
Yep. Agreed.
But Lucha Underground's not. It tells the story while it's being hardcore.
Agreed.
in some, and a lot of matches aren't hardcore at all.
Yeah,
and it's still great.
I would completely agree. Yeah, but yeah. So that's my number 5. Just watch it. It was really fun.
That's good.
So
my number 5. Also, I'm probably going to get murdered for because my number 5 seems to be this show altogether. Number 5 was the Intercontinental ladder match at WrestleMania 32.
Good match. I debated on putting it in.
Also,
Unexpected
it's tainted because we were there.
Yeah.
So it's bigger in my mind because of it. But there's so many good spots. Sin Cara even had 2 great spots. And he never has good spots. He always fucks up his big spots.
Yep. And he nailed them.
And you had Sammy and Kevin being Sammy and Kevin.
We thought
being crazy as
Kevin
shit.
died.
And Sammy killed Kevin. And we were sitting there looking at the big ass screen in Dallas, and you just see Sammy's face, and it wasn't I just got him. Oh, now I'm going to be Intercontinental Championship. It was
stiff.
like, oh my God, I just killed my best friend.
Yep.
My true life best friend. Sorry, Jericho. And then you get him going up there. You get him pushed off by Miz, and Miz is just standing up there, and we're like, this is fucking stupid.
Yep.
God damn it. Not
Mr.
the Miz.
Woo-Woo Nation himself.
And then
shows
Zack
up.
Ryder.
Yep.
Zack Ryder, who, if you didn't know, because I don't talk about it a lot, Zack Ryder has been one of my favorite wrestlers for 5 years.
You were wearing a Broski shirt at WrestleMania 32.
I said I'm wearing a Broski shirt. He's finally gets to be in WrestleMania.
Yep.
Because he got fucked. It was in his not his hometown, but it was in his home state in New Jersey at 29. It was because it was at MetLife. And he got pushed to the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and he didn't get an entrance. And all he ever wanted was to hear his music play in front of the WrestleMania crowd.
Yep.
And he even
His
says
dad
that.
was there?
His
Yeah.
dad was there.
Awesome.
And he
really
won.
Emotional moment.
And it was really emotional. I finally got to see Zack Ryder accomplish something, and it was live.
Yep.
And that was really big for me. And yeah, it sucked. He lost the next night, but they can't take that away.
Yep.
He won in front of 100,000 people in a
really
ladder
special.
match against 2 guys that probably should have won, Kevin and Sammy. And
Miz.
the Miz now.
Yep.
It wasn't
Miz then.
now was not Miz then.
Yeah, agreed.
And I mean, there was a couple other good guys in it, but it was
It was Ziggles and
Ziggler,
Sin
Sin
Cara.
Cara, Ziggler, Sin Cara, Ryder, Zayn, Owens, Miz. You're right, because
Yep.
it was
It was
6.
6, man.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was supposed to be 7. No, that was Money in the Bank. You're right.
Yep.
Right, it's those 6, and it was amazing. It was emotional. It was a roller coaster.
It really was.
And it was just an all-around good match.
I hear you.
Yeah, it was great. What's your next one?
My number 4 is Ricochet and Ospreay.
Okay.
The match
Which is a
Monday.
controversial
Yep.
match.
Which is controversial.
Yes.
I didn't see it until on Twitter, like the day afterwards.
Right.
And it was mostly
I watched
'cause it was-
on YouTube, and then they
Yep.
took it down.
Yep, because it was like it was blowing up the internet, like
Right.
or at least our community. It was like it was people
Right.
were like, "This is dog shit," or
You-
"This is the best thing."
There
I've
was
ever
no
seen."
there was no middle ground for this
Agreed.
match.
And it was very much like the Hardy stuff.
Yes, it's
yeah.
very much like Broken Matt Hardy.
Yep, a very
You either
divisive
love
kind of
it
stuff.
or you fucking hate it.
Yep, and I'm in the camp that I love it. It was fun. It was unpredictable. It was flippy shit to the extreme, which
is
I
what
love.
which is what you love.
So yeah, that was my number 4. I just couldn't get enough of it. It was a perfect 15 minutes for me.
The crazy thing is, I am one of the people that's in the middle. It's weird. I'm one of the rare people that's in the middle. I love those 2 wrestlers. They're amazing. I, on the other hand, love technical wrestling, and I love technical wrestlers. Flippy shit, I love, but
that's
it
where
looked
we're
too
polar,
staged to me. But it was an amazing match.
I loved it.
It was still an up and
Every
down.
second.
It was still an up and down, but that's the only problem I had with it, that it looked too staged.
I was fine with it.
I know you were fine with it, and it's a great match, and
rather
I would
do
watch
that.
it. I would watch it 100 times again.
I would do that any day over a Noam Dar, who I love, and over like a Noam Dar, Zack Sabre. Just
See,
fucking
that's different.
Hammerlock technical wrestling.
That's
bullshit.
he takes.
So it's slow
see, his
and
technical
sad.
wrestling is staged. It doesn't look technical.
Yeah, but if there's like no hard hits and crazy shit going on, like I'm not invested.
Right. You see,
So-
the best wrestlers are technicals that also can do flippy shit.
Agreed.
Daniel Bryan, Chris Benoit, stuff like that.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, that's what I'm talking about. The match that we didn't ever get that would have been the greatest match of all time, Chris Benoit versus Daniel Bryan.
Would have been a barn burner. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nuts. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I do agree that's an amazing match.
Yep. So that's where I fell on it. I loved it. So
my number 4, crazy, was your number 5, is the next lucha is a weapons of mass destruction match.
you get her voice so much better than I do.
That's because I'm in love with her.
She is by far the sexiest ring announcer in the world.
She's the best ring announcer.
Agreed. Just technically sound.
If she would announce that match,
She was in that match.
I was ready to go.
She was in that match.
She was in the match.
Marty held her hostage for a little bit.
Because Marty's a creepy bastard.
Yeah, because he's a creepy bastard.
But like her grabbing the microphone and just saying that
going ape
brought me into the match.
Yep,
I said, "All right, I'm ready to go.
She's like,
I'm ready to
get
fucking go."
Invested, boys. Here we go.
The only other time was when Howard Finkel announced a match, and that's just because of his voice. When he was like, "Next is the WWF Championship match," I was like, "Yes!" But
for completely different reasons, not because he has a sexy Spanish accent,
because he's
a really windy,
he's a big dork
loud and
wrestling fan.
Yeah,
and he actually. Did you know if you pay him enough money, he'll announce your wedding party? I've watched a video on YouTube of him announcing a wedding party.
Nice.
And they all came out as wrestling characters, and someone was dressed as Scott Hall, and he pushed Howard Finkel and threw a toothpick in his face.
Nice.
I know. It was fucking great. But I really don't need to tell you why I love the match, because you already did that for me.
Agreed.
Because it was an amazing match.
Agreed.
But what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Zayn and Owens from Battleground.
Awesome.
Is that your number 4 or 3 as well?
No, it's on my list.
Oh, okay, good.
But go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll lead off on this. So Zayn
Okay.
and Owens had this kind of it was a longer, drawn-out feud ever since they were both on the main roster together.
Never got old, though.
Yeah, no, because that's when Zayn premiered on the main roster after NXT Dallas, it was because he was shooting after Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
He was
because
pissed at
Kevin hurt
Owens.
him.
Yeah, for breaking his fucking neck.
Because Sammy should have been the guy that got up there first.
Yeah, and so
in his mind,
it made this really tight emotional story the whole time.
Right.
And it paid off at Battleground finally.
Right.
Like it was good the whole way, but it really paid off at Battleground for me.
Right.
The match, you could tell they were comfortable with each other because they let them do some crazy shit together.
Yes.
Like that. It's not a brain buster, or it was a brain buster at the time.
Which one?
The one to the outside that we thought on the apron.
On the apron. It was a brain buster.
Okay.
It was kind of like AJ's DDT.
Yeah.
His DDT brain buster.
Yeah. So it was.
I can't remember what it's called.
I can't.
He doesn't do it really
But
anymore.
Anyway, we were talking after that match because I think we did a review on it.
We did.
And we were saying about how it might hurt the match, like it was kind of weird. And then we're like, well, maybe it'll add to the match. And I just rewatched it maybe a couple.
It's a great
weeks
match,
ago. And it added to it to me. Like after a while, I'm like, you know what? Fuck, it did add to it because you're like, maybe like Zayn's really hurt, but he was going ape shit the whole time.
Yes.
And
that
Kevin
was one of the
like,
only
so
times
emotionally charged, and you had the haluva kick.
Yes.
And then he like looked at him and he's like,
it was.
I'm sorry, I love you.
Yes, I'm sorry, I love you.
that
Shawn
kind of-
Michaels moment.
Yeah,
yes.
that kind of moment again, and he like a playback to it, and it was just beautifully timed and perfect, and it was a great way to end a feud. It was the proper way to do stuff, and it was
The one thing about that matchup is it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but when you're an indie wrestling fan, you've been watching this for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So this not only was
since it was Generico Steen.
right. This wasn't a culmination of their feud. This was a culmination of their careers to us.
Their body of work.
This was this was their body of work.
Yeah, this wasn't like Ladder War. Like this was
Ladder War 4
Yeah,
is still one of my favorite of
and it goes on. Yeah,
of all time. That was amazing. One of the greatest finishes of a ladder match I've ever seen. And it just keeps going and going. And their careers were so close together from the time they started together in the same wrestling school.
Yep.
To every promotion, they always followed each other. And then Steen finally made the jump to NXT, and they were there. And then they started feuding, and the feuding's never really stopped. Like, yeah, that match was supposed to be the end, but that feud will never end.
Nope.
And I love that match.
Agreed.
And I love both those wrestlers.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Cedric Alexander versus Kota Ibushi. Yeah,
at
CWC.
Yep, I would agree. It was an emotionally beautiful match.
I remember calling you and saying, this reminds me of Osprey Ricochet.
Yep.
Because It was flippy shit to the extreme, but great. It was stiff as shit.
Yeah, they were mean as fuck to each other.
Yeah, because at one point,
Cody with those fucking rip kicks.
Because Cody wasn't going to kick his ass, and then Cedric caught him with one on the face.
And Coda's like,
Cody says, "Fuck you, bro," and just beats the living shit out of him. And you didn't know who's going to win
at all.
It was amazing. And Cedric on that one match,
such an underdog too.
On that one match, Cedric became a star.
Yep. And then you had Triple H come out for the first time during the CWC, and he's like,
that was the only time
thumbs up or whatever to the crowd that he was going to be around for a while.
Well, yeah, because the CWC was the NXT crowd, Full Sail, was chanting, "Please sign Cedric."
Yep.
Never once.
We also all thought that this was a one-off, that nobody was getting signed out of this.
I thought maybe a couple were.
Yeah, maybe one or two. We didn't think they were going to make a division out of it at the time.
No.
And so we were like, fuck, I hope they keep Cedric around. Like, I'm hoping he's not a Kenneth Johnson, like he's a one and done.
See, that was, yeah.
You're welcome, Kenneth.
We're going to name you Kenneth forever and ever.
I'm going to put you in the About Us section at WrestlingAgenda.com.
About Us. Kenneth Johnson, our number one fan.
From Detroit, Michigan.
Anyway.
My boy.
Yep.
But I've never seen that NXT crowd fall in love with someone so fast.
Yep, agreed.
Because it took him a while for Bayley. Shinsuke was pretty instantaneous, but only the stars get that treatment.
Agreed.
And it's a little upsetting because they're not pushing Cedric the way they should now. Mm-hmm. But in that one fleeting moment, he was an all-star.
I would agree.
And Kota was already an all-star.
He's the golden...
I know. I wish they would. I wish somehow they could have figured out a way to keep him, but
it happens, and he's doing great shit in Japan right now.
Tiger Mask. I mean, there's plenty of time for him to come back.
Air quotes right now because you don't know it's him.
Yeah, everyone knows.
Have you seen the Kenny Omega quotes about Tiger Mask?
No.
It's like, I don't know. The guy looks a little green. Like he looks inexperienced to me, but. I don't know, is it even the same guy week to week? And it's fun because they were a tag team, like best friends forever. So.
Right, and he made comments of him going to the CWC.
Huh?
He made comments of him going to the CWC and downgraded it really hard,
they're
saying
just really funny people. Like him and his relationship with Kota is hilarious.
Right.
And so,
well, you get these guys that have traveled all over the world together, and there's a bond that will never be broken. Regardless of what happens, wherever someone takes a job or anything. And it's just, it's really cool. What's your next one?
My number 2, speaking of Mr. Kenny Omega, is
Kenneth Omega?
It's just Kenny.
Kenneth?
Kenny. Just
Kenneth Johnson Omega?
Not even close. So Kenny Omega versus Tetsuya Naito.
Okay.
The G1 Climax semifinals.
Yeah.
It was the match I thought for sure Kenny was going to lose. Because no Gaijin had ever won the G1 Climax.
Right.
And Naito has been arguably one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Okay.
Especially this last year. He's gone from irrelevant mid-carder to heavy, challenging a couple times for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
I remember how excited you were for this match.
Champion. Yeah. And anyway, so this match, it just met my expectations. It was flawless. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
I was emotionally invested, which didn't hurt.
Right. Emotionally invested is the reason a lot of these top 5 are in our top 5.
And I kind of also thought, at the same time, I was like, well, this is a semifinal match in the G1 Climax. This was my first G1 Climax that I've watched start to finish.
Right.
And I was like, it's going to be a normal tourney match. There's nothing going to be too crazy in it. And these guys went all fucking out. You would have thought this was the finals. It was arguably better than Hiroki Goto and Kenny Omega in the finals, but it was the same level of excitement. It was just I was obviously pulling for Kenny the whole time, and then so I was just like, "Come on, Kenny!" and I was yelling in my room like a fucking idiot. And it was a gorgeous masterpiece of work to me.
That's awesome.
So.
That's great.
Number 2.
That was your number 2?
Yep.
Another thing I want to add to that one, though, a lot of times when wrestling puts on a tournament, the final is not the best match. It's usually a semifinal match to get to the finals.
Yeah, it was good.
CWC, the finals was good, but both the semifinals match were amazing.
Yeah.
And
agreed.
like all the older King of the Rings, when Stone Cold won, he faced Jake the Snake for the finals. Yep. That's not why people were excited.
Nope.
People were excited for the match he had before when he was bloody. I think it was Triple H that he faced.
Yes,
I believe so.
Which King of the Ring was this?
Oh, this is the Austin 316 one. I think this is
So
97.
I think. Okay, so it's
this is the
97,
launching
not 98.
pad. Yeah.
I think it was Triple H.
Yeah,
But
I think so. Because Triple H was originally supposed to win, but he was getting punished for the Montreal Screw. Well, no, for the Madison Square Garden curtain call.
yeah,
But yeah, usually your semifinals. That's where the money is.
so.
The finals is
But yeah, it was
everyone's kind of okay. This is it.
It was a masterpiece, and it met my crazy, stupid, high expectations. So,
Yeah.
yeah, stiffer than fuck. So,
Which
yeah.
I like. I like stiff.
Yeah, I thought just love the stiff.
I like stiff technical wrestling. My number 2 you have already mentioned. It's
Zane Owens.
Zane Owens Battleground.
Yep. It stole that show.
Oh my god, it made that show. One of the only times I've ever seen a botch and wondered if it was on purpose.
Right? And you're like, is he really hurt?
Because
like,
they played off of it until the final bell. They played off of that injury, and I almost
wasn't to excess either, though. It wasn't a Sasha Banks back injury. You know?
No, and
no offense, Sasha.
I almost want to know what that match was going to be if that botch was on purpose, because I don't think it would have been as good. I still think that botch was on purpose. I think Sammy's that good that he could botch on purpose, and Kevin caught him just in time before he actually hurt himself.
Yep.
Because they know each other so well, and then they just made that match amazing afterwards.
Okay. So we've already said why.
The match is great.
Fantastic.
The match is great.
So do you want to say what your number 1 is with me on the count of 3?
Is it the same as yours? Maybe.
I bet it is. We've had a lot of crossover so far, but I bet this is the same.
Number 1.
3, 2, 1.
Shins-
DIY versus Revival.
No.
Okay, well then I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I thought for sure you'd say this because
Nope. I love that match.
It was my match of the year.
It was my 6.
Hands down. It was a perfect way to end this feud.
I feel like after the last show, you should know what my number 1 is.
DIY has gotten incredibly close each time to the Revival.
And I probably should have put that in my top 5. I love that match.
It was so good. And it was on an already amazing card. And I was like, well, this is going to have to be the shit match now. Like, they're going to put in meh effort. And we've already seen this at last TakeOver.
Right.
And it didn't disappoint. I was completely blown away. It made me love tag team wrestling again. Like, I like tag team wrestling. It feels a lot gimmickier at times, though. It feels like they're always second-rate stars. This stole the show on one of my pay-per-views of the year.
Yes. Mine too.
It was.
I fucked up on not putting this one in my top 5.
You had DIY hit the Shatter Machine, while Revival right after Revival went for knee strike, the combo knee strike, super kick.
Yeah.
And like, it was an amazing 2 out of 3 falls match. Like,
that was great.
It's why I love wrestling. So I don't know any more to say about it. Watch it if you haven't watched it.
See, if you haven't noticed with these lists, I kind of go with an emotional pick. Like, it might not be the best technical match. It might not be the highest rated match, but to me, it's a match that I want to watch thousands of times. And yeah, I should have put that one on there.
No, I don't blame you. And especially like me being a huge indie fan.
Yeah.
I look like a fucking idiot right now. Like,
right, I really love the indies too.
So Young Bucks were like, oh well, if this was in NXT, this would have been match of the year when they had Seidel and Adam Cole and Ospreay and Ricochet versus them.
You know what I answer to that?
Like, neat. I mean, that's cool and everything, but it wasn't DIY Revival. It didn't have the hype and the majesty around it. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was fantastic.
Like, my answer to that comment by the Young Bucks is, then sign with NXT.
And actually, my number 1 should have been Lesnar Goldberg, but I missed out by a little bit.
For emotional, like, I'm not going to lie. Shocked. How great that felt, because it took me back to the 90s.
It was bizarre.
It was like I was a kid again. It was the exact opposite of when Lesnar beat Undertaker.
I thought about putting it number 1 just to fuck with people.
If we had honorable mentions, I was going to put it on there.
Yeah.
Because
close
that
second,
feeling
Lesnar Ambrose, but
oh my god, that match was dog shit.
Anyway.
But that feeling you got when the Undertaker finally lost at WrestleMania was almost like it was given back to you. It was like, here, you're a kid again. Because your childhood ended when Undertaker lost. Yep. Because he was never supposed to, and it was the Undertaker. And you just finally realized that wrestling was never going to be the same again because Undertaker is not undefeated anymore. And he's not the dead man. Honestly, like once he lost...
You know how we measure time in BC and AD?
It's pretty much after Undertaker lost.
I always do BS and PS, just before the streak and after the streak.
Yeah.
Post streak.
Yeah.
So,
but when Goldberg,
this is like 6 PS.
Goldberg hit 2 spears and a jackhammer. It was like I was
and a shove to start it all off.
Right, and a shove. It was like I was back in my living room watching with my dad, laying on the floor, watching Monday Nitro in '98 again, and it was an amazing feeling, and I almost get a little emotional talking about it because it takes me back to the reason I'm a wrestling fan is that's my father.
Yep.
Because he was a huge wrestling fan, and that's the reason I love that match, and I almost want to put it on this list because of it.
Yep.
But I can't because it was a minute 30, and it was between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar.
Yep. So that doesn't make your number one.
It doesn't make my number one.
Oh, okay.
But my number one is probably my number 1 favorite wrestler and my number 2 favorite wrestler, and that's Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles at Wrestle Kingdom 10.
It was number 6 on my list. Yeah,
I figured it was.
Barely
I was kind of
missed
surprised it wasn't on your list, but
yeah, and it was just
it was so early in the year that we've had so many good matches since.
Yes, and
including Shinsuke and AJ with other people.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing, they put in an amazing body of work with other people.
Right, and I wish this match was a little bit longer. When you watch it, I think it is 20 minutes.
It's funny because Nakamura Styles, and then I also had Nakamura Zayn on here that didn't make it.
Yeah.
You also could have added Styles Reigns on there.
Yes.
There was a lot of they had a
Styles Jericho, but it had a shitty ending.
Yep. You had a lot
Nakamura Aries.
Yep. You had a lot of close
Nakamura Finn on
Nakamura
NXT television.
Nakamura Joe. Like
not any of the Nakamura Joes.
Yeah, pretty much everyone he's fought with. It's been amazing. And then
AJ Cena.
AJ Cena was fucking fantastic. Like
you can't knock Cena for that.
Yeah, and they're both going to be in my top 5 wrestlers of the year. Spoiler.
Oh, same here.
But where they land, I don't know. You'll have to check in.
Yeah, I don't know
December
either.
25th, Christmas.
I know where one of them is going to land.
Listen
definitely.
to it while you're driving to your Christmas or Christmas morning when you wake up before your presents. You'll have a sweet new wrestling agenda to open.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Ooh, but yeah. But I didn't add them in here because they've had such an amazing body of work.
Right.
They need an honorable mention because it's just an anthology of amazing matches they've had this year. So
the one benefit I have is I watched it 2 or 3 days after it happened because it was AJ Styles. I didn't know a lot about Shinsuke yet because he wasn't in WWE yet, and I didn't follow New Japan hard. But the one benefit I have is I taped it on Access TV.
So you got the JR call, see?
Yes.
Yeah, see,
that makes it for me.
This was before
that
I got
makes
New
it
Japan
more.
World,
Yeah.
so I actually torrented it. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening, I'm a criminal.
Sorry, government.
Yeah.
Your mom's
Send me
not
my
gonna
fine
do
in the mail.
anything.
It'll never get paid.
Right.
But because I'm poor as fuck, I'm getting this out of the garage right now.
Right. The best garage.
20-degree weather, but
It's 30.
it's probably like 50 in here with the 2 heaters. It's 2
Yeah, we got
space
heaters.
Anyway, it's not getting paid. But anyway,
Right.
So I did that. So I took it, and it was just pure Japanese commentating.
Right.
Which is fun.
still good. It's fun. It'd be better if we
I have no
knew
idea
how
what
to speak Japanese.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they said the whole match, but it was amazing.
Because
it transcended. And you had AJ yelling in English the whole time.
Yeah.
Too, so
Right. And
I don't know.
their commentary style is very emotional. It's them yelling, it's them talking very fast, and I wish that I knew what they were saying because it sounds It sounds amazing, and I want to know what they're saying because I'm getting into it, but I don't know
We
what.
always make that joke when WWE shoots over to Funaki and the other guy had the Japanese commentating.
Best part of the night
because
he steals the
guy
show.
with glasses will say something for 2 seconds.
Yup.
And then
Yup.
and then
Yup.
and then Funaki and then Funaki will jump in with a lengthier 10, 15 second promo saying stuff in Japanese, but the whole time the guy with the glasses nods his head and goes, "Hey! Hey! Hey!" just like clockwork.
Funaki's one of the wrestlers that they could have made into a star. Like, to me, he's still a star.
Yeah,
he was the man. He was always like a Santino Marella comedy side guy, but him and Taka Michinoku, they were really fucking good.
Yeah,
and no one gives them credit for it.
No,
but yeah, that was mine. And if you ever get the chance to watch Access TV, they do New Japan. I think it is actually. Is it called New Japan World? Or it's New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Just New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Right. Brought to you by Access TV. Yep. You get the greatest announcer of all time, JR, Jim Ross, calling one of the greatest matches of the year between two of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Agreed.
And JR
I lied. I didn't have just straight up. I had Stryker calling it.
Oh, because he was the live one.
Yeah, I had Stryker and the dingus from Ring of Honor.
Kevin Kelly.
Yep, Kevin Kelly.
Kevin Kelly sucks. He used to be with WWE.
I don't mind Stryker at all, but I don't think you're very fond of him. But
it's not that I don't like Stryker. I really like Stryker when he was with WWE, but he's not a play-by-play guy. He's a wonderful color guy. And
so I got that. And
he kind of does. He's kind of hokey.
It wasn't a dub, but it was a. They called it live for New Japan World in English. So, and I'm hoping they do it again this year.
Yeah.
And even if it is Kevin Kelly and Matt Stryker, I'm not going to feel cheated. I doubt they fly out JR for it, but especially with the Access TV deal. So,
dude, if JR does this,
I'll have to watch it again on Access like 4 days afterwards.
Yeah, because it'll be taped here.
Yep, and I'll be watching it while everyone's asleep. So
it'll be a
Wrestle Kingdom 11.
It'll be a 3-week thing because that's what they did for this Wrestle Kingdom. It was 3 different episodes.
But yeah,
kind of like how Ultimate Lucha is.
Yeah, so I completely agree with your analysis. So this was we crossed where we
like honestly, this one should have been a top 10, but it would have been we would have been clutching at 9 and 10.
These all really should be top 10s.
We could combine ours. It ended up being 7 because I think
we're already at 30 some odd minutes right now.
Right. This would have been a 2-hour show.
Yeah, we want to give these things the time they deserve. We're not going to be like a Watch Mojo where we make a 6-minute video and it's top 10.
And like
and a minute of its ads. And
number one takes up 2.5 minutes.
Exactly. We're not those people. We're going to give you how we felt the whole time for each of these matches. So, but that's how that broke down for me.
But yeah, those were my top 5s.
Awesome.
And your top 5s.
Yep. And
I agree with all of yours.
Yep.
And
I don't see anything wrong with yours either.
No.
Yep.
Which is weird because that's not usually how it goes.
There's a lot of, and that's how these Agenda Awards work. It's completely opinions and just how we felt through the year. So, tomorrow.
Women?
No, actually tags.
Tags. Ooh.
Yep. Tag teams. So there will be a lot of crossover, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah.
Because there were definitely tag team. But there's probably like, in same thing with this, there's like 15 I'm thinking of, like off the top of my head, that were just fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
That have had an amazing body of work throughout the year. So Ascension will probably be number 1 or 2. So
Ascension?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
obviously, duh.
Hype Bro's right around to the corner. So
yeah. And the Shining Stars.
Yep. Crime Time's right there too. So
is this of all time?
Oh no. God no, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
No, it's 2016. Because it's Christmas Extravaganza.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So as always, I've been Kyle Klein. You can find me at Twitter at WAKyle316.
And I am Cody Long. You can find me at WA Cody Long.
Yep. Just a quick reminder. We just touched it, but fuck it. Tag teams tomorrow.
Tune in.
The 24th, Christmas Eve, will be top 5 women. And then Christmas is our big day. It's a big day for the Wrestling Agenda. It's going to be our top 5 men of the year.
Yes.
That sounds weird when you say it.
Not really.
Male performers, that's even weirder. It's top 5 male wrestlers of the year.
Yes.
But it's also the launching of WrestlingAgenda.club.
Yes.
And you can find these lists with probably an in-depth-ish analysis, probably just the same thing rehashed.
Probably.
On there. So, yep.
You'll find them there and on YouTube.
What's that?
Find them there and on YouTube.
You betcha. As always.
Which is probably how you're listening to this.
Yep. So WrestlingAgenda.club. Be excited. I have the hiccups. So that's fun.
So as always, Dawnbreaker, play us out.
Ooh, You just stole it from me. All right. Too fucking sweet.
Too fucking sweet.
Stop breaking place out.